Y'all ready, Cowboys Nation? What's going on, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy, Will Skywalker Steele, back for another hot one. The dynamic duo, Big Game James. Let's go.
What's up with you? What's up with you, big dog? I'm ready. I'm ready to talk. Well, we already been hearing some people in there like, let's talk this Cowboy. We need to talk this draft. We need no. I'm. Listen, that stuff ain't till April, man. It's okay. We can talk about some other stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm drafting. My head's about to blow up.
we don't always got to talk about the draft and Dak Prescott's contract.
Gosh. Yeah, we don't always have to do that. We don't always have to.
My head's gonna explode with this Dak stuff, man. This is how I feel when they bring it up. This is exactly how I feel. Like, really? Can we talk about something? Can we talk about something else?
Dog, I mean, like I said, yeah, I mean, it's annoying. It's old. I don't want to hear it anymore. I mean, every 2 minutes we're hearing, oh, they're significantly closer. Oh, they're right around the corner. Oh, talks have broke off. Oh, they're really not. Man, so what? Just only time I want to hear it now is when it is signed.
Wake me up when it's done.
I don't need to talk about nothing else.
Well, what's up, man? We got some hitters up in the building. Stevie Mack, man, he's always coming through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Eastside came through. He said, "Don't disrespect the GOAT, James Hart."
Man,
you know what I say to that? You know what I say to that, Eastside? That right there.
Ain't nobody worried about no Houston, man. Houston, y'all some cheaters over there, dog. I don't think you need to be mentioning no Houston right now. When your whole baseball squad, you screaming Astros till we die, your whole Astros in a scandal.
Period.
Cheating. Hush up. Don't say nothing about Houston. Y'all some cheaters.
Period. Now, it's been a while since me and you, we've been on the airwaves together, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Missed you, big dog. We like the
Missed you too.
We like the mega powers, dog. That's how I feel.
mean, yeah. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
ooh, yeah.
It's like them superpowers. You have them, one guy over there, he fighting crime on one section of the town. You got another crime fighter killing it over there. And then guess what? They get a big old enemy, and then they're like, you know what? It's time to tag team.
Oh, yeah. Like the mega powers. Mm-hmm. But we got a lot on the docket today because we're going to mix it up, right? We're going to talk about some of the rookies from last year, which was probably the most disappointing rookie class that we've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, since 2009. I mean, is it that bad, the special teams draft?
I mean, I guess because we can only look at it at 1 year, you can say, yeah, it's pretty bad. After 1 year, you can look at it, but you don't analyze those drafts for about 3 years. But at their first initial, yeah, because you don't see anything significantly had any kind of work besides Tony Pollard, which we're going to talk about everything else. But a lot of disappointments through and through on this draft.
Yeah. It's so weird because obviously we all wanted safety with that first pick, but I'm not going to lie. I tried to get myself up for the draft picks, right? Like every year, most fans do. But as things start trickling and coming along in the offseason, you know, we start hearing about Tristan Hill. We start Connor McGovern got hurt. We thought Joe Jackson might be something, but it just started looking like, where can these guys fit? You know, we were most excited about TP because Zeke was out. But as we saw moving on through the year, which we'll get to, that didn't that didn't come into fruition. It was ridiculous, and I think that had more to do with the coaching than it did TP himself.
Yeah, I think it had to do with a lot more of the coaching because we could have seen possibly a Donovan Wilson a little bit earlier. We could have maybe seen some more reps from Joe Jackson. You know, the bad part about it was Tristan Hill was put in that kind of a no-win situation. The way he was drafted, everybody was saying we need a defensive tackle. So many people were crying that we didn't get a Thornhill or Taylor Rapp when they were
Right,
available.
rightfully so. Right
So
now,
yeah, so he was already under the gun. And then it didn't help that he had the red flags already with the immaturity issues, the hot and cold, and then it just kind of snowballed from. But you remember when I told you before the season started, I told you I went out to camp and we were talking about him, and I said I like the talent, but he just runs too hot and cold in practices, and I worry about that going forward in the season. You said I'll be all right. Mm-hmm.
about Tristan Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I liked his talent. I liked his quick twitch ability, and that's what Rod Marinelli likes, right? Like Rod wants a guy that can get upfield, and I thought that he was that guy. But what did we talk about during the season in regards to Rod Marinelli? We said he does, in my opinion, he does not like young players. He may
Mm-hmm.
fall in love with them during the draft process, but when it comes down to it, he don't like playing them. He get him a veteran and he can coach them up and get the best out of them. Give him a young guy. Name me a young guy he's actually, in my opinion, coached up and made better. I'm not giving him DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm not giving him either because I mean, Demarcus Lawrence already kind of came in with that kind of flair, so Twitter account and said, "Hey, where's Ron Marinelli? Really, last time he really coached up some players. Yeah, you can possibly go to maybe what Tampa Bay or maybe Chicago, where he had some young guys over there, where he possibly got those guys up. But it has been a while, and really, you like we both talked about, if you got him a veteran who's already been there and done that, and already has an idea of what's going on." He seems to work better with those guys because he doesn't seem like he has the patience for the younger guys. And if they don't get it quickly, then he just kind of moves on from them. And that's what kind of probably possibly happened with Tristan Hill. Everything sounded all good in the hotel, looking over plays, doing all this, doing all that. And the next thing you know, you barely playing how many games? You played in what? I only saw what,
He
7 or 8
7 games.
games?
He
7
played in
games.
7 games, only
Inactive 9.
11%. 11%
That's
of defensive
crazy.
snaps. Yeah, and inactive for the 9 games. I mean, you cannot have that out of your second round pick. You can't. That could be a crusher for most franchises. But one of the things that I think we had to go into the season realizing and understanding is that there was going to be a lot of players that was not going to play because we already had a lot of established guys. But you
Right.
thought maybe the two positions you could get a starter out of or significant playing time out of, it was defensive tackle and it was safety. And we got to talk about who we passed up on. I know we don't want to go back and stuff, but this is what this is about. It's about the draftees from last year and figuring
Mhm.
out how they fit next year. So we passed up on the Adderleys and the Taylor Rapps, right? And who else did we
Juan
pass up on? Juan
Thornhills.
Thornhill, right? We passed up on
Hmm.
all these guys for Tristan Hill, so he had to come in here and ball out, and he didn't. We're looking at his stats right now: 7 games, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, which is ridiculous. 11% of the snaps, and he was inactive for most of the year. Shout out to Law in the building. What's going on, Law? He says Tristan Hill better be ready for this season. Yeah, here's the thing. Tristan Hill don't have Rob Marinelli no more. So
Hmm.
do we think Tristan or not Tristan? Do we think who's the defensive line coach? Mustache
Tom
guy,
Sula.
Tom Sula.
Tom Sula.
Do we think Tom Sula has the patience to stick around with Tristan Hill? Right? Because what do most coaching staffs do if they don't like a player? They ship him out.
They ship them out quick. And see, that's what I said. I've been talking about the Cowboys doing something with the draft this year, possibly a splash on in the draft, a trade up, a trade down, a possible player. I've already mentioned that if they were to really go hard with a Jamal Adams, you can throw a Tristan Hill in there. I'm not trying to give up on the kid because I do still think this kid has talent. I think he I think Tom Sula can give him good coaching. I think he should have a clean slate with Tom Sula because Tom Sula, this is only 1 year. It's not like he's been with the program 3 or 4 years. I think
Right.
this is a situation where he'll get a clean slate, and and he's a young guy. It's not like he's an old kid. So this isn't a draft pick you sit there and throw away. But at the same time, to me, if you're looking at trade possibilities, I definitely think that he's a guy that you put in there because he is a young talent and maybe he could go somewhere and thrive somewhere else. Not saying you want to get rid of him, but you definitely should keep him open for trade possibilities during while things are possibly materializing because we've already talked about. You've made a video. I've talked about it before. This draft, not just the draft class, but the defensive tackle class in free agency is
Oh
very,
man,
very good
I
this year.
love it. Big
Very,
game.
very good.
I really love it, man. I honestly, I know everyone is really excited for Ken Laws and Browns of the world and other guys. Here's my thing on free agency and the draft, man. I feel like you should be plugging holes in free agency. So when you get to the draft, you are not having to pinhole yourself or back yourself into a corner for a position. And the defensive tackle position, guys, like you said, I made a video. If you haven't checked it out, please go over to my page and watch that. There are, and I only listed 3 guys, but there are a ton of guys in free agency that I think could come in here and just straight beast for us and allow us to kind of skip over defensive tackle in the first round. Because I think if Ken Law has a great combine, you could forget about him at 17.
Yeah, you can forget about him because they're already having the buzz that he be better than Brown. So if they're already talking about those type of things, all he needs to do is have to come out and have a kick ass combine, and that's
It's
going to
over.
make him shoot up because he's a big boy, 6'6". Come on, man, you just don't find those guys, and especially if you're killing it on the combine as well, and you've already seen what's going on as far as the whole the defensive tackle position. Those are premium, those kind of big guys. So yeah, you can definitely see him shooting up. But we've already talked about, like you said, you've mentioned 3 people. One of the big guys we've both been high on is Jordan Phillips. I don't know how big of a possibility that is, but
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
keep
cost a
pushing and
little
keep
bit.
speaking. I keep on speaking it into an existence, hoping that it will come a pass. But if that is available, then as I said before, then you can go ahead, like you talked about, you can go ahead and draft another defensive tackle later on, and then it doesn't have a push because we know if you're keeping a Tristan Hill, because I think Law brought up that are you keeping a Malik Collins and keeping a Tristan Hill? I say yes because I just
Yeah.
don't see Malik Collins coming back. I think his time is done with the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, with his time being done with the Dallas Cowboys, then I'm feeling like, well, ride with Hill, get you somebody in free agency because you can get a young guy. You don't have to get an old guy. You can get a young guy. And then you can look at later on because there's still guys later on in that draft that you can get, even at the tackle position, maybe in the third rounder if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah, like you said, Law said, "Do you let 96 walk?" Talking about not Collins, Malik. Yeah, Malik Collins, for Tristan Hill. I mean, I don't really want to pay him. He's going to want a couple extra dollars,
Yeah.
and I'm going right into free agency and going to get a guy. I'll take an older guy like Mike Daniels over Malik Collins at this point. I
I
mean, I know
would
that
too
might be
because you
harsh,
know what
but
he's. I mean, you know what we know what Malik Collins is now. We know he's just a pass rushing, pretty much defensive tackle, and he's gonna get you sacks, but he's not gonna offer you much in that run game. Maybe here and there, but he's just not gonna do it. And just like you said, why spend money? Because he's looking for a payday. He's looking to get paid.
right.
And the Dallas Cowboys already have priority on other guys, so why would you waste the time in doing that with Malik Collins when you already know there's other guys you can get for a same price as probably maybe him or cheaper or better in the draft? Yeah, I think that this time with Malik Collins is over with.
It's a wrap. Shout out to Marcus in the building. He giving us some praise. And Stevie said you got 4 or 5 guys in free agency who can still be an upgrade at one tech and safety spots over who we have now. Those are the 2 positions I started my primer off with because those are the 2 positions we need desperately. And like you said, you can bring in a number of guys. Big game, a number of guys that could start right now for this team, right now.
Yes,
And the
yes,
and the
and
beauty the beauty of safety, even if you get the guys that I listed, the Bostons or the Ha Clinton Dix or J-Ron Curse, you can still take a McKinley or Grant Delpit at 17 if you want. You don't have to ignore it.
See, and that's the good thing because the free agency is really good for those two positions that the Cowboys need. So it helps out the Cowboys, and they have money to play with a little bit. And you can see what the possibly tags. Like I said, you still have trades possibilities. There's a lot of things that are open, but the good thing about it is defensive tackle and safety, the two positions that the Cowboys are lacking. You can hit it in free agency, and it's not going to kill you. And you can get a young guy at both positions. And then, like you said, you can still go ahead and get in the draft, and then it's comfortable. You don't feel like you're reaching. You don't feel like, oh, we're going to have to get this player, because you know what happens when they feel like they have to get that player.
Yeah.
The wrong thing kind of happens. So you don't have to reach. You can be comfortable in getting somebody that you want, and you don't feel like it. They felt like that last year, honestly, with Tristan Hill. That's why they went with defensive tackle in the second round. They didn't feel like it was a crazy reach because they had defensive tackles already on the roster. It wasn't a thing for Tristan Hill to come in and start day one because they already had Antoine Woods and Malik Collins. He was going to come in and be a rotational player anyway. The fact of the matter is that when he came in, he just didn't really look to have that fire, and he was just too inconsistent. And just like you said, Rob
I
Marinelli
think it
doesn't
was a
have the
Rob pick,
patience.
man.
He rather go with the guys that are already there. The pressure is on. You got to have a winning season. So then you get lost in the shuffle. You get kind of ostracized in your own little level. You're a rookie, and then next thing you know, you got a wasted year.
Yeah, I think we had to let Rob Manelli stay out of the draft room. I don't think he has any history of, like I said, producing young guys, and that was just such a bad pick. And I really try to give it a chance. I'll hop back in the comments very quick. Steve said, "Could we possibly trade up to get Kinlaw?" How you feel about trading up? I don't know, man.
I'm
Not
more
fond of it.
trading down. I'm more trading down than trading up. Acquire picks, that type of thing, because I don't feel like it's forced. Because I do think this is a deep draft. They're at a good position at 17, and there's a lot of good players that are still going to be around at 17. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I
A
saw.
lot of good possibilities. You got this corner, you got defensive tackle, you got a safety, you got a receiver. You got a lot of possibilities you could go at 17. You get what I mean?
I wouldn't
So
trade up. No need to.
I wouldn't trade up. It doesn't make sense to, especially when you can trade back and get more picks and still possibly get the player that you want. I feel like the more trading back, and a lot of people have been talking about it
Mm,
because that 17th position is that good trade back position, don't you
right.
think?
Yeah. I mean, if the board comes to you like that, say you got. Here's my thing. If somebody asked me this on one of my shows, um, do we trade back? And he's like, you should trade back and still get Grant Delpit. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If he's there at 17, I'm not jumping out of that. I just can't. I can't go through it again. We had our chance at, well, we possibly had a chance at Derwin James. Missed it by a couple picks. I'm getting Derwin James vibes from Grant Delpit, and I don't want to trade out of that. However, if he's gone, McKinley is sticking around, and you got somebody that wants to come up. Maybe a quarterback drops, offensive lineman drops, and I can go back a few spots and still get him. Yeah, I'll do it. So yeah, I mean, I'm with trading back, but I ain't with trading out of the first round. Not that far back.
No,
All
I'd rather
depends.
not trade out, but I definitely wouldn't mind. If the trade back was a possibility, I definitely would think about doing the trade back because you can still possibly get the player that you possibly want if you do that.
Absolutely. Now we're talking about safety. I'm going to actually jump to I'm going to jump to Wilson. We're just going to jump to Donovan Wilson. I was going to wait go in order, but I mean let's be honest. We we are here with Donovan Wilson because we passed up on the safety early in the draft on the second round. Then we passed on the safety in the third round. Then we passed on him in the fourth and the fifth. And then finally, in the sixth round, we took Donovan Wilson. He played all of 11 games, which he really didn't. He suited up 11 games. Two
Hmm.
tackles, no interceptions, even though he had 3 in preseason, and he played 2% of the defensive snaps. 2. And we were begging for this guy. And what's crazy is I had put a low light out on Donovan, and like the world just crushed me against the Lions.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
when you said when he missed that pass play,
yeah,
he
man, they crushed me.
yeah, like oh leave him alone. I mean,
No,
why not?
you got to point out his deficiencies sometimes so he could work on it. Hopefully, he got in the film room and got better from it. But guess what? We wouldn't
But
know he doesn't play.
But see, here's the thing though. People gotta understand. Just because he did that in the preseason, people think that just because he had 3 interceptions in the preseason, which it was nasty, which it was dope, it still is preseason. They just automatically think that, oh well, just give Donovan Wilson a chance. He'll come in there and do this because he got 3 interceptions in the
Yeah,
preseason, so he's got to come in the regular season and be a playmaker. No, that doesn't mean anything. Now that does make you feel good that this could possibly be something, but you can't look at that in the preseason and say that's just going to transition and everybody was just calling for a rookie. Do you understand how hard it is to play safety? A rookie, it's hard enough for these guys that are veterans, like a corner or anything else, that play safety. You're talking about a rookie coming in, and he's a 6th round draft pick, playing safety, calling calls, doing those type of things. What? Are you serious? That's a lot harder than the people think. So that's just not an easy thing for a Donovan Wilson was going to come in that back end and just going to start killing everything in the NFL. They see you, and those quarterbacks that are smart see rookies come in, they lick their chops and come
yeah,
after you.
yeah. And we have to understand that the coaches see these players at practice all the time, all the time, so they know if someone's ready or not. But I have a hard time trusting the coaches. You know me. We've talked about this since we've met. I just not fond of the coaches. I'm not fond of their ability to um, groom young guys, specifically on the back end and the front line. I just not linebackers. They do pretty good at, but other than that, I just don't. I just really, really don't trust them. And that's one of the guys I didn't trust him with was Donovan Wilson because we've seen
Hmm.
this before. We've seen guys play well in the preseason. What happened to Phillips? What happened to the linebacker that we cut? Why? He was balling out in the preseason. We cut him. We trade Tre'Davious Ward for a lineman we don't
Oh my
even get
gosh.
gone. We
Right.
trade Taco Charlton and he goes in and has a very productive. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust. I didn't trust those coaches.
Yeah, and that when we got rid of Ward because he was a guy that I saw in last training camp and I was excited about him. Just wanted to see him because he had good length. He was aggressive. He had a pretty decent camp. The next thing you know, he's gone for like that one cat you were talking about, Ellerling from
Yeah,
Kansas City, who we can't
who didn't
could
even
never
play?
stay healthy. Never ever did he even play in a game with
No,
us.
no, he got
With
injured
the Dallas.
like a week later and was on IR and cut. I mean, but this is what they do, you know, and that's why I didn't trust him with Donovan Wilson. That's why I couldn't get all excited. I got excited during the preseason, but I didn't get excited during the season because I didn't trust it, which was mind blowing to me. Because Jeff Heath, who had a better year, right? He played better. 2018, he was terrible. He was all right in
toward
20.
toward the end toward the end of the year, he definitely was playing a lot better. But that was your only choice to really go to. So and Thompson was
I
iffy.
agree
One
too.
game he showed up in that night New York Giants game, and then when we watched the that same Lions game that you're talking about, he got absolutely torched in that game by a Driscoll.
Who's that? Heath?
No,
Oh, Wilson.
Thompson, Darian
Oh,
Thompson.
Darren. Oh man, Darren Thompson.
He
Man,
got
you know,
killed that
I
game.
was
He
high on
got ate
Darren
up by it,
Thompson, and then he
and
kind of just fizzled out.
right, but here's the thing: we was already doing those type of things in preseason anyway, so it was a surprise to a lot of us when he was playing aggressive in the Miami game or playing
Yeah,
aggressive in the Giants game because he was not doing that. And then it reverted back to his old self when we saw him in these other games. So even now, he's a free agent. You wonder if you even bring him back. He's a good special teams player, but they still need to figure out something on that back end, and that's what we're talking about, Donovan Wilson because Heath is still a free agent. You have Xavier Woods is coming up. He's going to be a free agent after this year. Kayvon Frazier is a free agent. So you really don't have anybody in that secondary right now. Pretty much everybody's up under contract, just like this defensive line is this year. Everybody's going to be like that on the back end next year. So you really have to figure out who's going to be who and where you're going to need going forward. And you got to have to figure out what Donovan Wilson looks like.
you have to.
Linquist was his
I was
coach,
just about to
right?
say Linquist is here, so he knows. You know, he's going to be involved with Donovan. I think he'll get the best out of him. Miss Pro said it's unfair of me to blame trades on coaching. Will McClay, Daniel Alexander, or Chris Hall watch film. This information is reported to the Joneses. Yeah, trades. Yeah, I'm not going to blame trades on the coaching staff. I'm going to blame development on the coaching staff, Miss Pro. Who have they developed? What young guys have they actually developed on the front line and in the back end? I don't worry, I'll wait. Are we saying Xavier Woods? Mm, or are we saying Byron? Because Byron was all over the place until Chris Richard got there, and I'm not including Chris Richard in this. He was here for a cup of coffee.
Right.
You know, who do these coaches develop? I never trusted them with these young guys. I just never did. And it's been proven because we've went through bajillion
I mean,
safeties.
even when you're looking at Chidobe, I mean,
Yeah,
did he
look at that.
progress or did he regress?
Or did he just stay the same? I mean,
And then you had Anthony Brown. He was up and down, and then Jordan Lewis, who I love Jordan and I like him how he plays, but when did he really get to play? Toward the end of the season, you
it
get what I
it,
mean? It
it
was
took
always
yeah.
it was always something going on. But hopefully, we got new guys. You got Lindquist. I just posted the interview with Al Harris today. I really loved the Al Harris hire.
Yeah, that's
I liked
intriguing.
him. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just going off because what he was as a player in Green Bay, but he's had a pretty decent stints where he's been. He was I think was with Kansas City. So. Um, hopefully they'll bring that ball hawking style that he played at. We'll see how that comes over and transitions to the Cowboys because they need some of that. But they need to develop these guys that they have because what's going on? You're gonna have to look in this draft for a safety or definitely a corner
A corner.
because they're not looking. It's not looking good for Byron Jones coming back. And I just posted something today where the Colts were trying to unload their guys so they can make a push for possibly Byron Jones. And they got
Yeah,
Eberflus over there who coached him. That would be a perfect fit for them.
yeah,
So, and Cowboys are not going to get in a bidding war, I hear, with Byron Jones.
yeah. They're not.
So,
That's their mo. I feel like if Byron got interceptions, he would be here. And I hate to say that because I still think it's a solid corner. Here's the thing, though. Here's what I would do if I was Dallas because I talked about this previously. I'm a little nervous about losing Byron. Unless we go out and get maybe a Logan Tom or was it Logan Ryan or another corner. So what I would do, the reports came out. We're trying to get this Dak Prescott, you know, contract situated ASAP. If you can get that done before the franchise tag deadline, I'm using one of those tags on Byron. I just am.
yeah, but here's the thing. I've been even talking about it, but honestly, let's be honest with each other. If you got the two tags that are going to be available, though, the franchise, you're going to probably exclusively tag Amari because that's the best person. You'll get two first round draft picks. You're not going to get two first round draft picks from Byron Jones, even though I said it in my
I
heart. Just thinking about it, you're not getting two first round draft picks for Byron
I don't
Jones.
think you're getting two from Amari.
He's the best. He's the better one out of those two, though.
He is. He's the better one, but I don't think anybody's trading two. Because think about it, you're
Yeah,
not only trading two
nobody's
picks,
gonna trade two first,
but then you got to
probably
pay him
for
20 million a
Amari.
year.
Right, but
Yeah.
they're not gonna pay two. They're probably not gonna do two first for Amari either. But you're definitely not gonna do it for Byron Jones.
But
So when
I'm
you
not.
say you put a tag on him, what are you gonna get back anyway?
I'm not tag. That's the thing. I'm not tagging him to get anything back. I'm tagging him to keep him. I don't want him to go. I want to keep him because I don't trust what's behind him unless they go out in free agency and they get Chris Harris maybe but
Yeah,
he's
but what's the
older.
exclusive? You're talking about the exclusive tag. Which one are you giving him? If you're saying you're tagging him to keep him,
Yes.
which tag are you giving? Because if you're even doing the non-exclusive, I think that's at least 12 to 13 mil.
Yeah, I don't think the tag for a cornerback is above $14 million. I am willing to pay Byron 12, 13, $14 million for a year to see how things go. Maybe we can knock something out before July, but I want to keep Byron is what I'm getting at. I don't trust.
I don't mind keeping Byron either.
Yeah, let's get into this chat here. Let me. My Cowboys family said free agent one techs that are affordable. Michael Pierce, yep, he's one of them, and I think his average annual salary per spot rack is actually 4.5 million. Danny Shelton, yep, another one, and you can still draft Fotu. I do like is that the kid from Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, I like them big boys. Yep, those are two
I'm
guys I
cool on
talked about.
Gerald. I'm cool on Gerald McCoy, man. I'm cool on him.
Somebody brought up McCoy. Yeah,
I
no.
think I
Oh, I
think my
see my
Cowboys
Cowboys
fans
family.
put them because I'm cool on Gerald McCoy.
Not for 5-6 million. No, I'm good. I'm good as well. I'd rather get another. Mike Daniels not really a 3, but if Gerald could come in for the low, absolutely. Absolutely. Sheldon Day. I'll take Sheldon Day for 2 million.
Yeah,
Um,
Sheldon Day. I'm just kind of over the Gerald McCoy thing.
he played decent last year. Devin said, "I want
Decent.
to see Cheeto in a new system, but I need a rookie option if it goes south." I think
They're
Cheeto.
gonna draft a corner. They're gonna draft. They're for sure drafting a corner.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to bang on Cheeto. I think Cheeto is what he is, right? He's not horrible, but he's not really good.
Do we
He's
really think? Do we really think from what we saw so far at Cheeto so far in his career? Do we really think that he's going to get any better?
It doesn't look like
Seriously,
it.
no. I mean, I think that's this. Like you just said, Cheeto is what he is now. I don't think Cheeto all of a sudden is going to be like this great. No, Cheeto, that's just what he is.
Hey, Miss Pro, listen, Miss Pro. I agree with you. She said you're not getting 2 first rounds for Byron, but then she followed up with the Giants only got a fourth for Eli Apple.
Eli Apple's trash.
Why are we?
Eli
Why?
Apple's trash.
Can we? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Byron is an all-pro lockdown corner. Eli is
It's
come on,
trash.
come on.
Eli's.
Um, So I mean, yeah, we gotta attack that back end with the safety. Donovan Wilson is not the is going to be the full answer. However, we still may need help at defensive end. And I know we went out there and we got your boy Jalen, and we also got your boy Joe Jackson last year, who once again there's a recurring theme, guys. A recurring theme you'll see here. 6% of the defensive snaps and only played 5 games.
That's
I
terrible.
don't feel comfortable. 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit, and was mostly a special teams guy or just not suiting up. Can't have it.
Well, obviously we saw what Robert Quinn did. That probably helped. That probably helped maybe keep him off the field. And then they probably wanted to see what Dorrance Armstrong Jr. was looking like because of what he had a pretty decent camp, and they probably want to get him reps. And he obviously he's had a year under his belt over a rookie Joe Jackson. So you probably weren't going to see a lot of Joe Jackson anyway. But this is the year because, as I said, you got a clean slate with these guys, and they're only a year under their belt, and they really didn't play all like that. So this is a time to really see what you have in him. I think give him. I think we
I do
can.
like Joe.
I like Joe Jackson.
I
You
like
get
Joe.
what I'm saying? I like Joe. And I love Jalen Jokes. I wrote an
That's your
article about
boy.
Jalen Jokes when he got drafted. I have been on the Jalen Jokes train from day one. Wrote an article about him. I like him. I think he had the injury, but hopefully he bulked up some because I know he was a little bit slim. But he's every bit of the 6'5", 6'6". And you know what? I said that possibly could you possibly play him as a stand-up linebacker. I said that was a possibility in my own head.
Played
And that's
everywhere.
something. And they had him listed at linebacker. When I last checked, they had him listed at linebacker. So that's let me know that they do see him as possibly being a hybrid type guy. So I have big things ahead in my head for Jalen Jokes, but once again, we haven't seen him. So it's just a good hope and trajectory, but you don't know. So that's the quandary or the problem that the Cowboys have because you have guys that um, Robert Quinn, they already talked about how they really want Robert Quinn back, but there's going to be guys that's going after Robert Quinn. There's going to be teams going after Robert
Robert.
Quinn, and they might
Yeah.
offer more than Dallas, and they may not get in that bidding war. If that's the case, now you looking at square one, starting over when you got Demarcus Lawrence once again as the only bona fide defensive
Defensive
end
end.
you have, and the rest of the guys are unknown.
Yep. Including this one. Although I do like the potential of Joe Jackson a whole hell
I
of a
like the
lot.
potential, but it's
He
potential.
he got that grown man strength. But
Yes,
again, we haven't seen enough of it, and that's what's so scary. For if I'm the 2019 class outside of Tony Pollard, I'm nervous because they don't have enough film. They don't have enough on their resume to say, "Hey, I'm worth keeping," except Tony Pollard. And so
right.
that means they have to come into the to next year and have to prove themselves all over again. Granted, new coaching staff, everybody does, right? Cliche, everybody got to prove themselves. But let's be honest, it's easier for a Jordan Lewis to go in and say, "Hey, yeah, I got to prove myself, but I'm proven." It's easier for Antoine Woods or DeMarcus Lawrence or any of those guys that have film out there to say, "Hey, I'm proven." Joe Jackson, 5th round pick. You think McClay and Nolan and all those guys care? Absolutely not. Definitely when you didn't play that much.
Well,
Um,
like I said, they really gonna have to show themselves, and all on me are gonna be on the Tristan Hill thing. For real, all eyes on me are gonna be on what are they gonna do with him? Is he gonna be dangled as trade, or are they gonna say, you know what, we're wiping the slate clean, you better come in here? But I feel like, you know what? You're not going to have all these opportunities year in, year out to work. Just you had that year where you're up and down, hot and cold. You're going to have to run hot every day. You're going to have to prove because if they don't trade you and get rid of you, you're going to have to be a solid rotational piece on this defensive line. You must play and play a lot. You got away with it possibly your rookie year because you had other guys ahead of you. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been if they needed him. You get what I'm saying,
Right.
Skywalker, because they had other guys ahead of him. Now it's a situation where if you don't have the Malik Collins, which I don't think is coming back, Antoine Woods will probably come as a backup. You still have the influx. You don't know if Kerry Hyder's coming back or Covington. Both of those guys, their contracts are up. So you still have a guy who has to be an integral piece this year if he's not traded.
Somebody has to, because you don't want to waste this draft because it feels like that. Now we got another guy coming back from injury out of this draft, but it really, really feels defensively that it could be a waste. Tristan Hill, Joe Jackson, Mike Jackson, Donovan Wilson. I know it's early in this 1 year, but we just didn't see enough of them. So how can we project, them being very good the next year?
You're all hoping, and we haven't even talked about the picture right there. You show with Connor McGovern. We haven't talked about him.
Yeah, we're going to get
his
there.
whole injury.
Yeah.
Washed out. So that's another guy whose year was just washed out. So it's a lot of hope and potential in this draft. It was pretty much like a red shirt draft.
Yeah. Let me hop in these comments very quick. My Cowboys family said, don't forget tight ends. We didn't. I actually have that's a free agency primer. That's my next one. And it's going to be a little twist. I think you'll like it. Jerome said he did a 3-round mock draft. C.J. Henderson, Jalen Rager, and a safety, Antoine Winfield Jr. How you feel about that?
Jalen Rager's not bad. I definitely like Antoine Winfield Jr. Definitely with his pops. What was his first pick again?
His first pick. Where you at there, buddy? Where you at? Oh, here it is. C.J. Henderson, cornerback.
Cornerback C.J. Henderson. I'm sorry. I just don't trust cornerbacks that early. It's not even because it's the Morris Claiborne thing. I just feel like it's harder for cornerbacks to come into the NFL and just dominate and do like other positions can. So I guess I'm just a lot more leery of the cornerback being a first-round draft pick and coming in and we having the expectations that he's really going to do it. He's a good player. I've seen him. But once again, that's a hard trajectory in that first round, especially if you have like a Byron Jones leave. You're going to have a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure for him. And, Dallas hasn't had the greatest of, what we say, success with first-round draft picks for cornerbacks. Not saying that I'm jinxing it, but just haven't had a lot of success.
Let me tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up. I talked about this about a month back. We've drafted only 3 cornerbacks in the first 2 rounds of the draft since 2010. That is Byron Jones, Cheetah Bear Wouzier, and Mo Claiborne, who has a Super Bowl, by the way. Congratulations. Meanwhile, Mike McCarthy, who was an offensive guy, did not care. He drafted 8 defensive backs, 8 in the first or second rounds in his tenure. That is a whole hell of a lot. So get ready. Definitely if Byron Jones is not here, get ready. Because guess what we're going to need? Cornerbacks and safeties.
They're going to draft them.
Yeah, it's coming. It is.
I mean, they're going to, like I said that probably about a month and possibly 2 months ago, even before the season was ending. I was seeing not the writing on the wall with Byron Jones, but it was looking like it. And then, like I said, Cheeto and Jordan, their contracts are up this year, so they were going to have to get cornerbacks anyway. I am interested to see what can happen with Westery. He was stashed on the practice squad. 6'4". I definitely am interested to see what he is. That's a redshirt year for him. Lumba's pretty decent. But I say they're going to at least possibly get at least 2 corners out of this draft, either early and late, or at least one in the draft and possibly another free agent prize. But they're going to go after that cornerback position, knowing that they have guys coming up in contract because Anthony Brown, he's a free agent too.
Actually, I mentioned bringing him back. I think they should bring him back. He shouldn't cost you a lot. He's good insurance, and if I can have Anthony Brown at my 4th corner, I'll take it.
I mean, he definitely shouldn't cost a lot, especially with being injured. It's not like he got to put himself out there so other teams could look. So that kind of hurt his own stock.
Right. Law said, I think the new staff will elevate the players. We have real coaches. I've been preaching that, man. I really do think we have. Now, I don't want to knock on the assistant coaches that we had on the team, but I think McCarthy is a coach. Okay? He actually coaches. I'm not, no offense to Jason Garrett, but I feel like Jason Garrett was a rah rah type guy, right? Motivator. I feel like McCarthy's coaching. Nolan been around the block. Tom Sula been around the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Al Harris has played under McCarthy and he's been around the league and he's been
Mm-hmm.
coaching since he's retired. Like I really do like the staff that they're putting together, and I think that they can get the best out of some of these players. But hey, guys, that may not be enough for some of them. The best may not be enough, if that makes
Well,
sense.
I definitely I've been all on the coaching, so I'm definitely what they're preaching. But once again, we still have to see. It sounds all good.
Right.
Let's be honest. It sounds great and it looks great. And the coaching, I'm excited about the coaching. But once again, we haven't seen it on the field yet. So we can yell and scream all we want to about the coaching, but we still got to see it on the field. So
I'm just
it
happy the
sounds
other
all
coaches
good
is
about
gone.
the turnovers, and every team is going to say that, right? I mean, come on. What coach is not going to say? We're here to get turnovers. We're here to be after the ball. We're here. That's
Yeah.
what they're all supposed to say, aren't they? Isn't it?
Yeah.
If the coach is not saying that, aren't you going to be like, wait, what the hell's going on? Why did the coach talking about getting turnovers? Every coach is going to say that. We need to see it on the field. But from the stat that we did have to now, I think you're going to see a lot more development, a lot more togetherness, a lot more one-mindedness, and I think that's what's going to help the Cowboys more than anything else, because maybe there was too many other voices that were going
A
on.
lot of cooks in
Guys
the
weren't
kitchen.
maybe weren't comfortable, so maybe it's going to be more of a one voice system now, and maybe that'll help. But definitely going to need help on this defense, man. Once again, they're back in I thought we had that Dallas was over the hump when you saw the 2018 season with the defense. You're thinking, yes, we waited all that time. They were
Let me tell
drafting
you something.
defense, drafting defense. You finally got the defense, and within one season, look at it. You're right back to square one.
Let me give you an analogy here before we move forward, because you brought up the defense. You know what that reminded me of? Stick with me, y'all. Remember in 2016, Dak comes in for Romo. The offense plays very well. Things are clicking. The front office after the season's over is like, you know what? We're good. That was a great offense last year. We're good. We don't have to do anything. What did we do? Brought back Terrence Williams, Dez Bryant, Cole Beasley, Jason Witten. We brought back the same exact people and did the same exact things. In fact, we regressed offensively on what we did. So the league looks around and they say, "Oh, they're doing the same shit." And what happened in 2017? I know we had injuries. I know we had suspensions, but the offense still was not some offense that was clicking on all cylinders. It was a lot of coming back. It was a lot of mistakes. It was a lot of the same shit. Fast forward 2018, defense balling out, right? Chris Richard's first year. You got LVE, Jalen Smith. You got all these guys just balling out of their minds about midway through this at the season and on to the end. What did we do? The same exact players we brought back. We didn't upgrade from Jeff Heath, right? We didn't upgrade from Wouzier. Not saying that we should bench him or whatever. We went out and we got a Robert Quinn. Kudos. We didn't upgrade at defensive tackle, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
didn't change anything defensively, schematically. We did the same
Mm-hmm.
things. And what did teams come in this year and say? Oh, doing the same thing? We're going to throw it to the running back out the backfield. We're going to throw it to the tight ends up the seam. We're going to run with our quarterback. And they just continually killed us. Now, we still were a bend but don't break. It's not like teams were scoring 50 points on us. We only averaged like 21 points scored on us or something like that. But it was a regression to the mean, and really it was below average a lot of the times. So I'm hoping with this staff gone, the front office having a clean mind, that they'll realize their mistakes. They cannot stick to doing the same exact things year after year. Because what do they say? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Well, like I said, some people have come at me and said, "Oh, it's not pressure." I still think there is. I mean, because you have this whole new staff, you have a ready now football team. You don't have a team that's a rookie laden team. You don't have a team that's super old and done. You have a team that's ready to win now. You have a staff that's a veteran staff. Now you don't have a staff that's 1 or 2, 3 or 5, 6, 7 years in the business. You have guys that are 20 years in the business, been head coaches. So you have a lot of things that need to happen now. So hopefully you'll see a lot of the aggressiveness that we want, because hey, they're here to win a championship,
That's
and
right.
and you heard Jerry Jones. He said about with Andy Reid. They left. He went over from Philadelphia. It took what 7 years for him to win that Super Bowl. He's like, I like for that same blueprint to happen, but in a shorter time.
That's
So
right.
to me, so when people tell me, oh, there ain't no pressure. So when I hear Jerry Jones say that oh, I love for that to happen, but in a shorter period of time, you have a 5-year contract. Well, there should be pressure on these guys to make things happen. So we should be able to see what's going to happen,
Factamundo.
but definitely need to see if you're talking about the offensive end. We talked about the defensive guys. You just had Tony Pollard right there, Connor McGovern. It's going to be interesting to see how this offensive line shapes out because if you look at the guys that were really good, was a guy that wasn't drafted as far as the best one
Brandon
on the
Knight.
offensive line was Brandon Knight.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was worried about what they really liked him, and he came
Colombo
in and
loved him.
played that right tackle and looked good.
Yeah, Colombo loved him. Hey, before we move on to Connor, right quick, if this is your first time here, make sure you guys subscribe, please, and like
Yes,
if you're enjoying
subscribe.
this. The Mega Powers, the dynamic duo, we back at it.
Mhm.
So we're going to
A
continue
lot
to do
of
this.
people in the chat too.
Yes,
Law,
yes,
Mr.
shut up in
Cowboys
here.
Pro, Cowboys family.
What's up, South
Everybody's
of
in here.
Heaven?
Appreciate
Ash.
everybody that's in here, been talking it and kicking it. Appreciate everybody that's in here. Love listening to everybody in here talk. And but that people keep up bringing this Tyron Smith thing up, man.
What about
He's got
getting
a
rid of him?
good, yeah. Like it's time to look at. I mean, I get it. He has a really good contract right now. He hasn't said one word about his contract. That's amazing. He has a great contract right now.
But this Tyron Smith stuff is just is mind blowing to me. The guy's fine. Is he going to miss 2 or 3 games a year? Yes. But when he plays, he's one of the best left tackles in the league. He might not be the best left tackle, bar none anymore. But I think people don't understand how bad the offensive line play is in the league. It's bad, man. And we got some good ones. Real quick, Miss Pro, she said, I keep hearing various streams say that this team is talented and ready. Can someone explain to me where? I'm not being shady. Honestly, just didn't see it last year. Like I said in July. Is this team talented? I think so. Ready is a different. I think those are two different things, Miss Pro. Right? 1 second. I think those are two different things. I think if you run down the list of players, we have a lot of talent. When I say a lot, does it mean from 1 to 53? No. But you have enough talent on this team that it is a damn good start. But ready is a whole nother story. Ready comes down to coaching. And we weren't ready for the last decade with the previous regime. Will we be ready this year? That all depends on the coaching. We're all excited. We're all optimistic because we got a new regime and we got guys that have been around the block and we got a Super Bowl winning coach who knows how to get teams ready to play in the playoffs and perform well in the playoffs. But were they ready with that other coach? No. If you've been listening to us for the last 2 years, you know they weren't.
But here's my question. When we say what the question when Miss Scouting Pro says talented and ready. When I look at our season last year, right?
Mm.
And I see the teams that they played and we lost to, okay? Can we honestly say that they couldn't have beat every one of those teams? We couldn't have beat Buffalo. They couldn't have beat Minnesota. They couldn't have
Sure.
beat Philly. They couldn't have beat Chicago. So when I say talented and ready, I'm saying that I'm looking at the years and ages of the players. Most of the players, offensive line, even Zeke and Dak and them are in their what they quote unquote, not Zeke, he's getting their prime years when
Yeah.
you're like about 25, 26, 27 years old. That means ready, as in ready made to these guys are in their prime years where we need to go ahead and get this done now because then they'll be 30, 31, and then that won't be prime years for them, and then they'll be almost starting back over. You get what I'm saying?
Uh,
So that's when I say more being ready. When you saying talented, I do. When I compare the Cowboys
it's
to these
talented.
other teams in the NFL, especially in the NFC, yeah, I can definitely say the Cowboys are talented. Maybe not top to bottom like you said, but they're talented enough
Yeah,
to
they're
beat
they're not
anybody
top
in
to
the
bottom
NFC
talented.
and can go far in the playoffs regardless because
See, that's
there
where I
wasn't
stop.
teams that really could have were just smashing us because they were more talented than the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, the thing is, the Cowboys, when I've been saying this forever, when we have our horses and we line up, if the other team is not as talented as us, 9 times out of 10, we're winning the game. Where the Dallas Cowboys ran into trouble with the previous regime was if a team was just either just as much as talented as we were or more, but they were coached competently. They had a high chance to beat us and normally would beat us in some one possession type of game. Look at the Bills. Bills team, about average talent. I mean, not average talent, about the same type of talent. Maybe a little less than your mind or a little more, but not just drastically better than us. You know why they whooped on us? Coaching. I mean, that's
And Dak
usually what
played
happened.
like trash.
Yeah, they play like
Yeah,
trash,
Dak.
but
Yeah,
McDormand dialed it up. Dialed it
yeah.
up. But I mean, I don't want to keep harshing on the previous coaching regime, but I'm with you in the sense of I get what you mean by ready. You mean that all these guys are in their primes per
Prime
se,
years. They're
and
prime.
yeah, you're not
So
getting any
we're
younger.
ready. Yeah. So it's the time is now to me because you have these talented guys with these contracts, right? Because this offensive line contracts aren't going to be there forever. You get what I mean?
Yep.
They're probably stable for approximately one more year. Then you're going to see other people coming up. Oh, this guy needs to
Well,
renew, or you get what I mean?
Connor,
So
let's talk about Connor McGovern because Connor Williams, after this year, is actually up for a contract extension, which I honestly, man, I'm ready to see Connor McGovern.
why would you extend him? You
Exactly.
haven't really seen anything to really say, oh, we're extending Connor Williams.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. And I think we should. Now, I'm not knocking Connor Williams last year. I think he progressed. He got better, but he still was the weak link, which is easy to be on an offensive line like that, right? But Connor McGovern, I think, is a true and true guard. He's a big boy, Big Ten guy. Played in up there where they run the ball a lot. He's what 6'5", 330. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
that was kid weight. That was college weight. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
now he's got a year off. He was put on injured reserve because he tore his pec. He is a third round pick, so he's valued. In fact, what do we hear coming out of that draft? Right? They said they actually had him above Tristan Hill, which is another thing. Why would you not take him then? But anyway, they had him above Tristan Hill on their board, so they value Connor McGovern a lot. And the person that valued him probably the most was like a Will McClay because he puts the board together. So, we could see him challenge. I mean, do you think he's going to challenge for that role?
He's definitely going to challenge for that role, if not trying to be a starter. I think the issue is everybody's been talking about Tyron Smith. Is what are they going to do with that? Because just like you said, Tyron's going to miss a few games every year, and he's going to be what I think they said 29. But to me, he's like an old 29, and I'm not saying nothing against Tyron, but he's not that. He's not that guy that he was at 25. Okay, he's
I'm
still very, very good. But if you're talking about Connor Williams, right? He rehabs. What are you gonna do with this guard position? Because you got to see what you got in McGovern. He's got to play. Connor Williams is actually a better tackle. He played left tackle in college.
Didn't it
Why
look like
don't
he
you
was
have
going
him?
to take over until Collins got extended?
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Then that threw the monkey wrench and everything.
Yes, it
So
did.
Connor Williams backing up Tyron, but then you don't have Connor Williams backing up Tyron, right? Because Connor Williams is a second round draft pick. He has to play.
Yeah.
That's the problem they have on this line that I'm wanting. And then you get, like we just talked about, Brandon Knight was better out of all of those guys. You get what I'm saying? Hey ho, $2 holla
You
from
got
my
one?
guy Eastside Hero. Got one. Got it. Threw it in the water. Finally had the opposition give you one.
Gotcha.
Donation.
Yeah. I think he will challenge for that position. Tyron Smith, I'm on the opposite side. I'm fine with Tyron. I know he's an old 29 because he's been in the league for so long. I think he came in at 20, which is kind of crazy. But he's like a robot, man. Until he fully breaks down, I'm good. Now, does that mean ignore the swing tackle position? No. You got to go get one. I think the experiment with who was the swing
Fleming.
tackle? Fleming. Yes, Fleming is over. So you got to go out there and find a new one. And we got
And a
Joe
young
Philbin.
one.
Yeah, now Joe Philbin, I like him grooming up guys. He coached a lot of pretty decent linemen, and he
Offensive
got the
lineman, yeah.
best out of a lot of linemen that you're like, huh, who? But go look at those Packer teams, man. If he could, y'all know that they do that little weird hold thing. I hope he teaches us that. I really do.
Yeah, because it was killing us in playoff
Gosh,
game.
it kills everybody. It kills everybody. Both is it Bakhtiari and Balaga? They do that weird. It's a legal hold, and I think Philbin probably has a lot to do with that. So bring it on over here, Joe. Bring it on over here.
Please bring it on over here. Bring it on over here.
Now, we did have one person come out of this draft that we love a whole lot, that we thought should have got a whole lot more time, and that was Tony Pollard, a.k.a. TP.
TP, can I get a witness?
Man, listen, like my man said, GP, are you with me? TP, are you with me? Oh, yeah, we got the church, we ain't going nowhere. Listen, Tony Pollard, for me, should have played a hell of a lot more. I know Zeke is the man.
Yeah, we all know that.
But I thought it was ridiculous that he rode the pine so many different times. And that, once again, comes down to coaching. Now, this past year, he had 455 rush yards. He averaged 5.3
yards a carry. That's crazy. 5 yards a carry.
Here's a glaring
and
number,
man,
though.
And when he just started really getting the ball in games, you saw what was the Rams game where he turned up, had over 100. That was the second 100-yard game. Was it the Rams game?
No, the Dolphins game.
No, he had the first 100-yard game in his Dolphins game, but he had another 100-yard game.
The second game was the Giants. No, not the Giants. Yes, Rams. Yes, Rams.
It was the Rams.
But that was way late in the season.
It don't matter.
Well, what I'm saying is he should have been playing.
Yeah. Well, we all know that. We all can. We that ain't no disagreement with that. I'm saying when they said, okay, we're gonna let you play, you see what happened. You see the breaking of the tackles. You seen the explosion. You seen he's just a different player. And me personally, after I saw one time, I knew he wasn't a gadget guy. I knew he could be a running back. I knew he could get carries. I wanted to see him. And then when I saw him in training camp, the kid is electric. He has to get the ball this year. He has to. I don't give a hell what you're paying Ezekiel Elliott. I don't care if you're paying $15 million, whatever the hell you have to do. You must get this boy, this man on the field. He must play. He must play a lot. You must put him in every kind of situation package you can because he makes the team that much better. He makes Ezekiel Elliott that much better. Not saying that he's better than Ezekiel Elliott, but he just makes Ezekiel better because you have the key on that speed. Let him get a few carries and he's going. Boom. Now you see how they did the battering round when they started letting him, when they had Ezekiel Elliott just battering up the defense, and then boom, bringing in Tony Pollard. Now the defense is already tired. Now he's boom to the house. Y'all got to work it like that. It's like it's not element. This is not rocket science on how to use this kid.
Here's the thing that I am cautiously optimistic about. I talked about this a lot. I know I'm repeating myself here, but our previous coaching staff never, ever, 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 ever knew how to use multiple backs. It was never in their DNA. It was never. Only Scott Linehan, it was in his DNA previously, but Jason Garrett is calling the shots in regards to, hey, this guy's got to get the ball, right? Ezekiel Elliott, DeMarco Murray, right? Marion Barber. Now, when Julius Jones and Marion Barber were a thing around the Bill Parcells days, it was a kind of a tandem. But once Jason Garrett fully took over, it was all about horses. He could never understand how to use multiple backs. Even in the year we didn't have DeMarco Murray, you would think we'd go with a better committee. He didn't know what the hell to do with Joseph Randle. I had to cut him because he's a bit of a knucklehead. The Darren McFadden comes in. He's the horse. Darren McFadden shouldn't have been the horse. Did he play decently? Sure, he didn't score no damn touchdowns, but he was not a horse. Then we draft Zeke, and he's a horse, and I totally get it. But look around the league. I hate to do this. I really do.
They got the two-back system, man. Everybody knows it.
Go look at the champions. Go look at the Super Bowl champions the last 10 to 12 years. Go find me besides
the last All-Pro running back to win the last All-Pro running back to win a Super Bowl was Marshall Faulk.
Of that year. Now I will give Seattle Marshawn Lynch. But aside from Marshawn Lynch in the last decade, man, we're talking about a lot of one or two or three backs getting the job done. Okay, and Zeke is a beast.
We know it.
Zeke's a beast.
See, here's the thing. It doesn't take away. The problem is people want to just make that comparison about the running back with the Super Bowl. It doesn't take away from anything from Zeke Elliott not being a beast and being a top dog running back. It's just saying the truth that you can win a Super Bowl without having a dog running back. If you have two pretty good running backs and you got a pretty decent line, it's a good passing game, some good receivers, you don't have to have a franchise quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You better have a pretty good defense, though.
Great defense.
You better have a pretty good defense, though. You may not have to have all those dope elements on the offensive end. You got to have some keys, but you better have a pretty good defense because we see that the defense does win the games because San Francisco was winning that game on defense, right? Yes,
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes made them plays, but it was Kansas City's defense that made the critical plays to get them off the field to give them the ball back. So defense stood tall again.
absolutely. And what I was getting at about being optimistic about Tony Pollard is that Mike McCarthy, granted, when he has a guy, he can run the guy, but for the most part, he knows how to use multiple backs. Go look at his history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he
Mm-hmm.
can use multiple backs in a very different variety of ways. In fact, he turned a damn wide receiver into a running back in the middle of the season and got production out of him. You know,
Exactly.
so
And with not just that, we think that with Tony Pollard, he likes to. We know Mike McCarthy likes to throw that ball, so you can see a lot of plays out of the backfield with Tony Pollard, and he was a receiver type at Memphis, so it's not like he can't do it. So I'm really excited to see what the position. Just like you said, he converted a receiver to a freaking running back and was very successful in doing it. So
mhm.
he can get tricky and he can think out of the box. We've seen it happen, and I think we're really going to see a lot of the thinking out of the box with the Cowboys because once again, everybody's been saying you've had a year off. You've had a year off. You did the analytics. You did that. So you think he's going to come back stale and boring? Everybody's
No,
looking out for you.
I
So I
love that
think.
he critiqued himself with that. Right, he
Mhm.
came out and he was like, "Man, listen, yeah, towards the end of my tenure, yeah, I got a little bit predictable. You know, it was a rocky road there. You know, he had a diva quarterback. He had a front office that would not replenish the talent. I think people forget that about Mike McCarthy's tenure at the end of the Packers. They would not spend money. They
And
would
they
not
were
spend
beef,
money.
and he was beefing with, I believe it was Ron Wolf or one of those guys that at the time, Ted Thompson, one of
Ted
those
Thompson,
guys that
maybe.
he kept going in there, and he was going to the front office. I need more talent. You keep on getting these free agents because remember, Green Bay wouldn't even replenish in the
They wouldn't
draft. They were
touch
just
free
going after.
agents.
They were just going after and they were like, he's like, come on, man, you need to help me out, and that's where that friction really came, and that's where you saw the beginning of the end to me, with the Mike McCarthy era.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I'm gonna get into these comments right quick. Did you watch the XFL? A lot of
Yes,
XFL talk in here.
I didn't intentionally intently watch it like, but I did see the Dallas game. I think they played St. Louis, and I was saying I like that quarterback that was with St. Louis. He was number 10. He looked real good. Good. I like the rules. I like the interviews. As soon as you get off the field, they talk to you right then and there. You don't get a chance to get your breath or nothing. They ask you critical, tough questions.
The one dude
And
cuss.
Man, I like the 1 point, the 2 point, 3 point conversions, the kickoff, obviously, and they can be real physical. And I really just hope that it could be like I said yesterday in the show, it could be like a farm system for the
I
NFL.
think it will
Uh,
be.
Guys that really maybe not be ready can go play at XFL and really do good. And like I said, that looked like some real quality football. I watched the games. They weren't like the AFF, I believe, where it was just like, come on, man,
Right.
they're just doing this outrageous stuff. This looked like real football.
I watched about an hour of the Dallas game, and then I watched maybe 20 minutes of the other games on Saturday, and I was impressed, man. Kudos to Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck. They nailed this one. They said we're going to get rid of all the hoopla that they did back in 2001, I think it was, with the more entertainment. It was literally WWE on the field, and they
Hmm.
want more football. And I'm going to try to stay tuned in, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they are going to need a Johnny Manziel type, somebody to kind of spark the interest weekly. I know the play
Hmm.
should do it, but I mean, let's be real. These are a
They
lot
need
of
a they need
you
they
need a
need to
star.
name players to kind of
You need a star.
keep it. Yeah, well, they had Landry Jones with Dallas, and he got hurt, so
Ah,
maybe he might turn up. I know, I'm just saying,
yeah.
he's a guy that can help turn up.
Well, here's why I brought this up because, and I hate to talk about a punter, but when I saw Marquette King
That's what everybody was talking
punting
about.
that damn ball, I was like, yo. And I had wrote a tweet. I said, man, I hope Bones Fossil was looking at Marquette King and saying, listen, bruh, come on up in here and we gonna push Chris Jones because I made a video about how Chris Jones could be rejuvenated under Bones Fossil, and it's very possible because Chris Jones is athletic. We saw him take off and he loves to do trick plays, but he ain't that
Right.
great of a punter no more. But
Yeah, but he ain't got no leg no more though.
that boy King got a boot. I loved him. I used to
Hmm.
always get him in Madden because he was the only brother that was a punter. So
I
I would
know, right?
so I will always get him in Madden, But I would love for them to go holler at Marquette King and see what's up because he's athletic, and I'm not trying to stereotype him, but he is. He's athletic. He's an athletic punter.
It ain't no stereotype. You don't see black punters. Let's just
You
call
don't.
it what it is. You don't see freaking black punters, and it's if you're a black person, you get excited. I get excited just like if you're a white person, you don't see white running backs. So,
Get
you
excited
would
about
be
Christian
excited if you're
McCaffrey.
you're excited about Christian McCaffrey. I
that
don't give
boy,
a hell what you
that boy
say.
mixed. I don't care what
You
nobody say.
don't. I don't give a and that, nah. We seen them McCaffrey boys. That boy all white.
Man, I don't know. I think Daddy McCaffrey done snuck out somewhere.
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
that boy
But
Christian got some. He got some flavor in him. He got some soul.
yeah, he got some sauce. But he had the stigma too. There was no black running back, so he had to deal with the stigma. And hey, I like seeing a white running back out there killing it. You
I
feel
love
me?
seeing Christian
Like
do his thing.
I played that Stone
Shut that
Cold.
stereotype down.
Remember when I don't know if you've seen it, but I posted that Stone Cold with the longest yard, the
Oh
remix.
yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "That's how white."
He said,
He
said,
like, "That's how white running back
said,
does it."
this how a backwood white guy run the football. I'm like,
This is how a white man runs a football.
hey,
I
Stone
said,
Cold is
wow.
wild. That movie
Wow.
was gold.
But hey, like you said with Marquise, there was another cat back in the day, Reggie Roby. I don't know if you ever remember him. He used to play for the Miami Dolphins. He was like one of the. You never saw black punters back then. Yeah, you don't know. That was like the 70s, 80s.
I know my history, but that one got me, bro.
That wasn't ready for Reggie Roby for the Miami Dolphins. I used to love watching him. But I don't think I've ever seen a black field goal kicker. You seen one?
There had to be a black field goal kicker. Damn, I haven't thought about that. My brother was a high school field goal kicker.
I'm talking about
I'm
NFL.
messing.
What black?
Damn,
Black
that's a
football
good
kicker.
question. History. Find out for us, chatters. Who was
Chatters.
a black field goal kicker?
Field goal kicker.
Stevie
Black field
said
goal
Peyton Hillis, one random amazing year. Peyton Hillis had that. You're right, absolutely one.
Yeah, he was a
random
dog.
ass year.
I was excited.
Honestly,
I wanted.
He was a
I wanted
dog in
Peyton.
college.
He was him and Darren McFadden and freaking
And
Felix
Felix.
Jones. Are
Nasty,
you serious?
nasty.
When he went to the Browns, I was geeked for the Browns. I was like, yes, I want to see this dude kill it. And then that was it.
Oh, my boy Sev is in the building. What's going on? He said the XFL is looking pretty good. There's some stuff they need to clean up, but it's looking like it could be good off-season football. Yeah, I'm hoping so. But yeah, man, I'm hoping they holler at Marquette King. Why not? That's how I look at it. Why not?
I mean, it ain't gonna hurt you.
No.
And can't you cut
Chris Jones.
Jones and get money?
Yeah, that's what made me kind of look at that. I believe it was my Cowboys family said we can cut Crawford, Chris Jones, and there was another person they brought up, and we could save like 18 million gain actually, $18 million.
No, because I know you got $8 million on the books for Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 1 or 2 million for Jones. I don't know who else.
Chris Jones might even be more than that. He might be more than
He might be. Go ahead and cut him.
Bring in competition. That's what I'm looking at. Same thing with Kai
punter.
Forbath. Is bring in
punter.
competition.
It's a punter.
Yeah, let's. I just don't want them to go down. I mean, this is a new staff. We don't know yet. I just don't want them to go down the same road we went down last year.
Dang. You seen Bones? That dude is energetic.
Yeah, Bones don't play that.
You know, one of the things I hear about the Cowboys, all these coaches, the main thing I hear out their mouth when they first interview them, man, I just love being a Cowboy. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be a coach here. All of them are saying that.
Even
McCarthy. So yeah, all of them are saying that same thing. Like it's an honor and privilege to be here in coaching. So maybe that might work in Cowboys' favor as well, as far as maybe possibly getting to a championship sometime soon.
I feel good about the changes. We got to see. We'll see where these draft picks from last year, how they fit. I don't know, man. It's a whole new staff, and I don't think anybody should feel comfortable. Anybody. Oh, I love LaShawn's question here. Why don't we ever give Devin Smith a chance? You know why we don't give him a chance? Jason freaking Garrett.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. He'll probably get a chance now.
He can't play.
You should, because,
team.
like I said, I was on re-signing Cobb, but now I'm cool on re-signing Cobb. Let's get Devin Smith. Let's give Cedric Wilson. Let's give John Vay Johnson. They're going to draft a receiver as well. They're going to draft one. They're going to scoop one up. What's up, David Jenkins? How you doing? And I'm cool on that. That train is gone.
On who?
Give Devin Smith a chance, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, man, Devin Smith should have played
He
last year.
looked
It
good.
was
Washington
ridiculous.
game, he looked good, made critical catches.
Even in the was it the Saints
Giants
game?
game.
Or
Was it
one
Saints?
of the games he making some catches as well, but it's mind blowing that the staff is so gung ho on their third or fourth wide receiver having to play special teams and having to block.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hell
I
no.
get it.
Noah Brown.
I totally get that the wide receivers are supposed to block, but when you are bringing in a Lucky Whitehead or bringing in a Tavon Austin to do a crackdown or to be a lead blocker on an edge run, does it matter if Devin Smith can block or not?
Yeah.
It was just stuff like that really irked me. It really did.
Yeah, Mel Hayes says I'm cool on. He said, "What? Yeah, am I cool on Cobb? Yeah, really, I am cool on Cobb. I like Cobb. Don't let me preface and say I like Randall Cobb, but he's 30 years old. Have you seen these receivers in this draft this year?
Yeah, I'm not paying.
Have you seen them? They are deep. It's deep with receivers in this draft, and what you can get for Cobb, you can get for a younger guy, as a slot guy, and be okay. I think you could be okay.
Listen, man, I would love the reunion of Cobb and McCarthy. He had some career years over there, but unless it's for the low,
Super low, like a million, like Tavon Austin low.
It got to be in that.
And he ain't gonna do that.
You got to be that 1 to 3. Now, you know what though, man? People love Dallas. They love Dallas, and he has the coach.
No, it's not. It's not about him not loving Dallas. I know he probably wants to come back, but Dallas, he's gonna want some money. He played for $5 million last year. You think he's gonna want anything under that? He's gonna want more than that. Why would Dallas pay him anything more than $5 million? Why would they even pay him $5 million when you can look at the draft and you got young guys coming up and you still got your horses? I don't think they're gonna let Amari go, and you still got Gallup. Come on, man. Come on.
Man, that'd be a nice. You know who else we ain't bring up?
Dez Bryant. I know that's why I was trying to keep quiet about it, because.
Yes, sir. No, don't be quiet. Talk to talk.
I mean, hey, I've already said that I'm cool. I'm not gonna be mad if they went that route because he doesn't have a contract, so you could make it work where it's not gonna be expensive for him as all. And he's not. I don't want to put Dez out there like he's begging, but it does seem like it. But my thing is, I'm not getting hyped on it because Stephen Jones said no. He's the one that got rid of him. And now, even though Stephen Jones is in the media saying, oh, yeah, we love everybody, we respect Dez highly and we love what he's done and we won't rule out anything. Doesn't he say that to a lot of that stuff that when he means I'm not dealing with you, he says that stuff? So, but it's a great story. And as long as it's keeping Cowboys in the news, why would he say no to it? He doesn't want to look like the bad guy. So I just don't think he goes back on what he said before. But who knows? I'm not against it, but I just don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, again, that's another one of those things where the draft is so deep at wide receiver.
It's deep. Like, you get a guy in 4th, 5th round and be straight.
And, like, I'm with you in the sense that I would love for Dez to come back. I feel like Dez is rejuvenated. I feel like he's humbled. I feel like he's not.
2 years old.
He already said it. He said, I don't want to come in here and be the main guy. I would love to come in here and
he ain't going to be the main guy.
Yeah, he come in here and be the secondary guy. You know what I mean? Like the 4th option. Dez is a 4th option. It's beautiful. But I don't want to get too caught up in it. It's something that I think Dez won't get signed anywhere until after the draft, possibly until before training camp. Stevie said, I like Dez, but his route running in the new video did not look good. Hey, Stevie, that's crazy because when I was watching him run this one route, he kind of stumbled all over the place. And I was like, Dez, why are you posting that?
I mean, like he's got to get his tape out there. He says he wants to play football. Like I said, I'm not tripping over it, but, I'm not saying, oh, putting every video out, let's go get Dez. Let's go get Dez. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just posting it, be saying, hey, I love Dez Bryant. I'm always going to love Dez. Financially, if they were to say, okay, you can come on back on a tryout and we'll see what happens. But I just don't see Stephen Jones with the strongest personality is Dez, and after he got rid of you saying, okay, we'll go ahead and revisit this when you got this whole new staff. Do they want to deal with that? Dude, you got a new receivers coach. Do they? I mean, you have everything new in here. Do they want to deal with that? And once again, you already have young guys on the roster who have to get some work, and you're gonna draft a receiver.
Yeah, you better. And you can. That's the beauty of this draft. You can wait, like you said, to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and feel good about it.
Good one.
Yeah.
Get a good one.
And feel real good about it, man. Real good about it. All right, I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. It's been a good
Yeah.
one. It's
Good ass show.
yeah, man. See, this is why you got to switch it up a little bit because it's a slow
Mhm.
news cycle.
Mhm.
Combine's not for another couple weeks. And
Oh, and I might be able to go to the
I
combine,
saw you
Skywalker.
post that.
Yeah, dog. Because I thought, I went through this ticket agency. We got them the first time, and then I went through them again, and they actually had tickets for it last year,
Wait,
but something came up, I couldn't go. So I put in the thing this year, and it looked like it was all booked up. So I was just pissed. I'm like, okay, but they sent me a thing yesterday and said, hey, you know what? Tell us the days you want to go. We'll let you know within a week if it's possible to happen. And I'm got my fingers crossed. I put it in for the defensive tackles and the linebackers and the corners.
ooh,
I love to watch receivers and all that, but I really want to focus on defense. So I just want to see the defensive guys and how they'll look. So hopefully I can get on, and that would be awesome. I'm going there if it
it
happens.
don't matter who you get. If you get there, make sure you give us some video footage.
Nigga,
Yeah.
oops, excuse me. Holla, holla. Yeah, hey, you best what? Yeah, I'm gonna be all on the coverage
Oh,
because
gee,
you know
funny.
what? You when I was watching a film, I was watching a film that
Bloopers.
Brett all day, Brett Colliman. Yeah, I know, right? Brett Colliman.
Sorry, bro.
Brett Colliman had a video where he was basically saying him going to the Senior Bowl and seeing it live is so much better than watching it on film. Yeah.
Oh, I am running this back. That's about to be a new drop.
Yeah. What? But
Oh man. All right, go
hey,
ahead.
ain't
I'm sorry.
nothing like seeing them. Ain't nothing like seeing them up close and personal. You get what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like seeing them up close because you can see them on the video or you can see them on tape, but when you get to see them live doing the drills and the cuts and everything, changes everything. It changes everything I thought about Michael Gallup. That's when I really wanted him.
That's true. You know, you can see some tape, and then you can be like, oh man, he look like he's pretty fast. And when you get down there to the camp, you be like, please, you do not look
Right.
like you that fast. I should have hit you with the.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
you should.
good.
Well, that's all good. That was a good one for today.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
that look,
I liked it. It was all original.
authentic,
It was super authentic.
real. That's what we give you on this show. Real, the truth and some realness. I hope y'all like it though. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let everybody get out of here. Let y'all get out of here. Get ready for bed and work or whatever, what have you. Man, we next week. Hopefully some news break would be lovely. You know, talk about some other things than Dak's contract. But if it can get signed, then we can definitely get on here and do an emergency podcast per se.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if you haven't yet, man, like this video, share it, subscribe to both channels. We're gonna keep
Please.
bringing that heat, man. We are.
We need to get them likes and subscriptions up
Yes,
fast, fast, fast. They've been going up quickly. Yours has been going nutty. Mine went nutty for a little bit. Now
I
yours is
appreciate that.
going nutty. So we need both of them to go nutty, y'all. So tell your friends, get out there, like, subscribe, share the hell out of this. And also, next week is when we start our Dallas Cowboys for Life, our DC4L.
DC4L.
We'll be starting that, and it's gonna be lit, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
telling
a
y'all, it's gonna
teaser.
be.
What you
We
seen
we we
today? The teaser.
it's a teaser, super teaser. What we got, it's gonna be fire, y'all. Y'all really gonna like it, and you'll be really involved as far as contests, games, prizes, everything that you really like to really get you even more involved. So please, if you're not a member, I think it's a private membership. Go over there and be a member. Dallas Cowboy for Life and the DC4 Deluxe. We will be rocking on both of those. Production, everything is gonna be lit, and
Absolutely.
we'll be doing our little draft with. We were gonna do it yet tomorrow since we're already on live, but we decided hell we'll just do a show today, talk about the draft, and then next week we'll focus more on that when we do our DC4L
Yeah.
and DC4L download.
Yeah,
So
he's
please
talking
jump in
about
there. You'll like it.
we're gonna do kind of a live mock draft for the first episode of DC4L next week. So all you draft heads, come on over. I don't know about multi streaming or not. We'll discuss that, but I would advise you guys to come on over if you're already on Facebook. We'll do a live mock draft. Now Big game is mostly the draft guru at this moment, but I'm going to try to. I'm,
Shit.
I'm going to be on my Trey Wingo boomer stuff. Whoop. That's gonna be me.
Dog, when I be thinking, you know what? I'm going hard studying. Then when I see these
Thanks,
other
Josh.
cats on Twitter, yeah, appreciate you, Josh. Thank you very, very much on the kind words. Make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you're a subscriber. Don't just say that and not be a subscriber. Make sure you like the video as well. But man, when I go on Twitter, and you go hard on the Twitter. When I'm going thinking, yeah, I know this. I see these dudes on here, and I'm like, man, I'm so behind.
That's why listen.
I'll be like, damn, I think I'm like doing good. Like
Nah,
I'm getting
they be
people,
getting
and then
lat.
like, wow, I am so behind,
I'm gonna
yo.
be honest with y'all. So this is my motto this year because I used to try to get all 100 and whatever prospects. Listen,
Yeah, until you start doing your own show and all that other shit, and then people, then you saw, then you see.
well, here's the thing: is that I got sick and tired of putting my blood, sweat, and tears in these prospects. The draft coming, we don't draft not a single one of them.
Not even be close.
One, two, we have to wait till free agency.
Right.
We don't know who we are going to take.
Yeah, because it changes everything.
Yes. So why would I sit here and just pour? I will read up on people and I'll watch some of the top guys and things like that. But for me to just go all in when right now I need to focus on some of these free agents that we can bring in here. Who is the staff thinking about bringing in? Some of these rumors, because that will change everything. You go sign a Jordan Phillips, a Michael Pierce. Guess what? You ain't drafting Javon Kinlaw most likely, right?
Yeah, you're damn right. And also, it's just like, I'm sorry, me personally, I'm not doing 17 mock drafts. I'm just
No,
not.
no, no, no,
I'm
no.
not. I'm not doing mock drafts just to
I
make
did
sure.
that.
And I'm not hating on nobody. I'm not throwing no shade when
They're
I say
fun.
this.
They're fun when you do them
But
by
I,
yourself.
I'm not doing them to make me look like I'm the smartest draft guy and I know every single player
Sure
in the
as hell
world
don't.
because I keep on doing 17 mock drafts. Not gonna do that. I do a few of them toward the end, and it's not because I'm not studying. It's just because you get a better, like you said, a better beat on the players when the free agency
Yep.
comes. And then you get a better feel of who the Cowboys are going to draft because it don't matter who I'm thinking about drafting. It's what the Cowboys thinking about drafting, not who Big Game wants to draft. It's who the Cowboys are probably going to draft. So you got to think on their terms and not yours.
Devin. I don't mean to be literal about Phillips and Kinlaw, but I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't believe this team will invest high money in
Not
free
if they get
agency
a Phillips, they'll
and
go
the
up and
first
get.
round
I
pick.
don't see them getting a
I
Kinlaw if you
just
got a Phillips
I
too.
just can't see it.
Maybe it wouldn't be.
Not
You
saying you
wouldn't be out of
can't.
question, but I don't see them doing it.
Yeah,
I
not
just
saying
don't see that happening.
Yeah, not saying you can't do it. Like I would love to have a Kinlaw and a Phillips combination, but I think they would look at that as okay. We have an interior presence now.
Who's young?
Yes, and he's young. Now let's go get a secondary guy or whoever, whatever the flavor of the week is for him. That's all. That's all I'm saying, Dad. That's all. You know what I mean? I would love to have them both. I would love to have them both.
Hey ho, 199 holla
Got
from
one?
Young Wilson. One of D Tech, one Tech with some weight and speed. Aloha. And you know what? I love it because Hawaii, you made me feel so special. Coming from la 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 la. I want to be where you're at.
Where my camera? At? There it is. My boys, them Ooses. I got a Hawaiian friend on Facebook. Man, he calls me his Uso. I love it. I watch wrestling a little bit here and there, and the Usos, and they always come out and they go Oos. Oh, so I always say that to my Hawaiian friend, man. I just love their culture, man. They're all about family. It's
Yes,
tight
I love their
knit.
culture too. Yeah.
Is it called the
Yes.
haka? Tell me, is it Wilson? Is it called the haka? The
And
dance that they do?
they're all about family.
Oh
That's
man,
what I
I
love
love
the
their
best.
culture. They're one of my favorite cultures to kind of to look at and check out and kind of.
Be
I
a
want to go to
model.
Hawaii.
Me
I
too.
want to
I've
go.
been to Hawaii one time when I used to fly with the airlines.
Now,
I used to fly with the Friendly Skies. But it was beautiful,
this,
beautiful. I want to go back. I haven't. But you know what? Life ain't over, and it can happen again.
that's right. That's right. Now this is a
Quick
name here.
question before. Yeah, go ahead.
This is a name here. Guitar slinging zombie killer.
Zombie killer. Yeah, that's my dog right there.
I ain't never seen that before. Now, you gonna have to answer this, man. What do y'all think of Ashton
I seen
Davis?
I seen Ashton Davis. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Vegas
Um,
zombie
not
Vegas.
I like him as far as his playmaking ability. He's a guy that's a good playmaker, breaks on the ball really good. He'll hit you. Doesn't seem super physical to me, but he will lay the wood on you. But I like his playmaking ability, how he can stretch the field out. Pretty good hips. Doesn't I want to see how he's timed. Don't know if he's the fastest guy out there, but I definitely like the measurements. And we'll see what happens.
See,
You know what I'm saying? But
this is why you
he's
the
not a bad
draft
person.
guru, bro.
No, nope, 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 nope.
You just
draft is being
ripped
held in
off a
Vegas.
Dame Bugler.
I wish I was a damn bugler. No, I don't, because they do a lot of work, man.
Ooh,
That
man, he
makes my
puts it
head
in.
hurt.
Listen, I used to love listening to the draft show when it was Brian Broaddus and Dame Bugler. I ain't gonna lie to you. Jeff is
Yeah.
good. He's good on there, but
Dame's a beast.
Dame is a beast, man. Now see Willie. Now you think about Devin Hamilton. Listen, we
I'm trying to
tune
get an
in
interview with him.
next week for the draft, the live draft. We
See,
will
there y'all go.
talk
Yeah, there y'all
draft.
go. Oh, Law says Davis runs a 4.3. Well, damn.
Ooh.
He don't look that fast on the field.
Safety?
I want to see his combine thing. But Devon Hamilton, I've been in his inbox because guess what? Devon Hamilton, right? Hey, ho, 99, holla. Appreciate you. Here's a donation for the next trip out here. And it's 69 degrees with the sun up. Haka is awesome.
Haka, that's what it is.
Yeah. I
It is
like
awesome.
you, Young Wilson. He's the man, ain't he?
It's
Young
awesome.
Wilson's the man. But real quick, Skywalker.
Go ahead.
Devon Hamilton.
Yeah.
He went to Taco Charlton's high school, Pickerington Central out here. Okay. He actually is. So I was like, man, I want to get an interview because he played with Ohio State, right? Played at Taco Charlton's high school. And I looked on his Facebook page and he's friends with two of the kids that went to his school with him that played for me. Because I got a kid right now that played for me, went to Hamilton School that's playing at Eastern Michigan as a linebacker. His name is Brandon. And I had another kid who was a linebacker out there. So I'm in his inbox. I like him. Ohio State defensive players do good, especially linemen. So I wouldn't mind him
Cornerback.
later on.
Their DBs are nice too.
Oh,
DBs.
they almost like DBU now.
Almost. Still giving that to LSU.
They're close, though. They done put out some boys here
Yeah,
the
they
last 3-4 years.
Yes, they have.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to tell them the next time we do a show, hopefully, the dual stream works. We're supposed to be dual streamed, and it's on my YouTube channel as well. If you haven't, definitely hop over there, Skywalker Steele, and subscribe. I may upload this video on there once it's done.
What you mean, May? You better.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Not tonight. I ain't doing it. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
I ain't doing.
But hey, I'm gonna let y'all go, man, because we're getting up there. Even though this ain't the late night hype like Law Nation and Big Game James.
It's the semi. It's the semi late night hype.
It's the mid late night hype. But I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. And like we said, next week, tune in. DC4L download. It's coming to y'all live. Appreciate you. Love you guys. All of y'all. Parting words, Big Game.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Hey, just next time I'm gonna censor you. Peace out, y'all.